Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about a very important virus infection and which you all must have heard or read about, that is HMPV, that is also human metapneumovirus. So what is this virus? Because it is making all the headlines and people are panicking. Today the share market also crashed and few people said it could be due to HMPV virus. Now this virus, is it new? The answer is no. It was first discovered and identified in Netherlands in 2001. But based on the analysis, it is known that it has been in circulation for 50 years or even longer. So this HMPV virus is not new. It is at least 5 decades old, and more than 2 decades it has been diagnosed and discovered, and it is seen in most of the countries. If you look at our own country, India, in India also, even though many news channels and media reported that the first cases of HMPV were discovered or diagnosed in Bengaluru today, that is factually not correct, because HMPV virus infections have been known to occur in India also for the past several years, and labs have been diagnosing it and many hospitals have been reporting it. So that brings us to this question: who are the people who are prone to get HMPV infection? So HMPV virus infection, it is more common in children. If you look at children, it is mostly below 1 year of age. So between the 6 to 12 months of age, it is more common. And by the age of 5 years, you'll be surprised to note that almost all children in the world have got exposure to HMPV virus. But it can reoccur. It's not that if somebody gets infection once, they become lifelong immune to it. They can again get it. So reinfections can occur with this infection. Are there any groups who are more prone? So other than children, as I already mentioned, those who are immunocompromised, that means those who have poor immunity, like say post bone marrow transplant or other organ transplants, or those who are taking steroids, older people, especially those above 65 years, or those who have diabetes, especially poorly controlled diabetes, and then those with underlying lung disease like asthma or COPD. So they are the people who can get these infections more commonly, and also the severity of infections can be more in those people. Now, how does this infection spread? So the mode of spread is like any other respiratory infection. So it spreads by coughing and sneezing. So droplets are in the air, and if somebody inhales that, they can get exposed, or through close contact. Suppose the virus droplets may be on the hands, so by shaking hands or close contact, or also through fomites. So if the infected person has spread the virus on some object like say table or chair, other person touches and then the virus can enter. So as you can see, the mode of spread is very similar to any respiratory infection, including COVID, and which you are all familiar with. And once the person gets exposed to this virus, the incubation period is about 3 to 6 days, after which the symptoms can begin. So what are the common symptoms of this human metapneumovirus? So in this, the most common is, of course, fever, cough, runny nose, and then in severe cases there can be breathing difficulty. So just like any respiratory infection, these symptoms are common for all respiratory infections, and only in severe cases the breathing difficulty can be more severe. Now what is the outcome in these cases? So most infections, 90% or even up to 95% infections can be mild, and they get better on their own in say 7 to 10 days at home itself. But about 5 to 10% in patients, the infections can become severe and they require hospitalization. So there it's mainly what is the treatment. So there is no specific antiviral drug which can be given for HMPV virus infection. So it is basically supportive treatment. So those, if oxygen concentration is less, they require oxygen therapy, hydration, control of fever. So mainly the supportive treatments are given. And as I already mentioned, most people do recover. If you are worried about the case fatality, so fatality rate is less than 1% in this. Can it become like a pandemic like COVID? That is the other concern. So answer is no, because as I already mentioned, this virus has been there in our country for last several years. And as of now, there again, no state or region has reported a surge in the cases of respiratory illnesses or respiratory infections. And these infections are more common in say late winter, early spring. And so the current season also is conducive for that. So most of the health experts feel that this is the normal surge that we see in this season, which is similar to previous years, no increase compared to previous years. and what one needs to do is that you need to be cautious for the next few weeks, especially in this winter and the early spring. So if any child or anyone has respiratory infection, obviously stay indoors, stay at home, because once they go out, they can spread the infection to others. Avoid large gatherings or gathering in public places unless absolutely necessary. And if you can wear a mask, it's even better. Don't shake hands. It looks little rude, but that's in our best interest. And our Indian way of greeting is still better. And this is not something which we have to follow now. These things can be followed universally at all times, because respiratory infections can occur at all the times. And one way of preventing is avoiding close contact with people, and especially those who are infected. We should avoid contact with them, and they themselves should stay at home. And so these are some of the common things we can do to take precaution. And then hopefully, as of now, there is no need to panic. Already there have been press release by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare also, where they have said that they are on the close watch, close lookout, and as of now there is no need to panic. And we have testing facilities available for this virus in almost all standard laboratories and hospitals. So if anybody has symptoms, of course, if it is mild, you can stay at home. But if the symptoms get severe, or if it is persisting beyond 4 or 5 days, consult your pediatrician, consult your physician, and they will always do the needful.